Hi and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I will try to show you how you can easily start with GeoPandas with Python, and you can easily handling your all of this geospatial data. And I will try to make a sequence of series all of this tutorial one by one, and I will start from the basic level. Okay, so in this tutorial, first of all, you need to know how you can start this GeoPandas. So it's very important. So first of all, you need to download the Anaconda distribution. So you can simply download from this link anaconda.com. You can simply download from this here Anaconda distribution, and then you can install this Anaconda distribution, and you can get this all of this code editor. It will be Jupyter notebook or Spider, and other notebook will be available here. So here I already installed this Anaconda distribution. So I opened my Spider from the Anaconda distribution, and now I will work with the GeoPandas. Okay, so first of all, what is GeoPandas? So GeoPandas is an open source project to make working with geospatial data in Python. Okay, so GeoPandas extends the data types used by pandas to allow spatial operation on geometric types, and geometric operation are performed by safely. So in this case, we know that GeoPandas is a open source. Okay, you can easily work with GeoPandas and handling your all of this geospatial data with Python. Okay, so first of all, you need to download it, or you need to install it, this module GeoPandas, in your program. So it's very easy. Just you go to your Anaconda distribution. So here you can see this is the Anaconda distribution. You can simply, after completing this, you can simply search here Anaconda. After completing your install, you can simply search here Anaconda promote. You can simply go to here, and you can write your some code. This code will help you to download or install this GeoPandas module. Okay, you can write here the pip install GeoPandas. Okay, then simply press to enter. So now it will be running. So here I already installed the GeoPandas. So now I will start with this GeoPandas. Okay, so first of all, in this tutorial I will try to show you how you can easily import your shapefile, history shapefile, and after importing this shapefile, how you can easily display this result using the plot. Okay, so first of all, you can see here this is the Spider code editor interface. Okay, here you can see this is the code editor. You can write here the custom of codes, and this is the console. Okay, and this is the you can see there are the many tabs: files, port, help, and variable explorer. So now you can simply click to the files. Okay, now here you can see in my desktop I will create already a folder, introduction to GeoPandas, and now I want to add this folder with my Spider code editor. So I simply go to here and click to the files, then I simply find out my folder. So I can simply search here this folder name, introduction to GeoPandas. I find it and simply select this folder. So now you can see here this is my file path will be added with my Spider code editor, and you can also see here this file has a one file. This folder name is shapefiles. Okay, and now I create a new Python file. So I simply click here the right button of the mouse, and you can simply click here the module. You can see This is the module. When I click here, you can see you can make a Python script module, and in this case I will give this name is introduction pandas.py. okay, I gave this name and simply click to save. So now you can see here a new Python file will be added in our folder. Okay, so now if you want to check your folder, you can see your folder has the two files, shape files and introduction to pandas.py. These two files will add it with your Spider code editor. Okay, so now you can write custom codes in your code editor and you can easily get all of these things. Okay, so now you first of all you can see I delete this, and this is our Python code editor. Here I write our custom codes, and then we can also work. So first of all, in this case we will work with GeoPandas, and this GeoPandas library we already installed it our system. So now I call this GeoPandas. Okay, so now I simply import this GeoPandas in my code editor. So I simply use here the import GeoPandas. Okay, I call this library and I gave this rename as GPD. Okay, so mainly in this case this is our library GeoPandas, and this is the short name of this GeoPandas. And next time when I call this library, then I simply use this small name GPD. Okay, so now you can see here, and when I click to run, you can see this is the run button. Simply you can click here, or you can press your keyboard F5 button, it will be executed. Okay, so I simply click to here. So now you can see it will be run. Okay, and then we also imported a shapefile. So in this case here you can see this is my shapefile folder. Here I already, when I click to here, you can see there the different types of shapefile will be available. So now I will add a shapefile in my code script, and then we also display this a plot. Okay, so here you can see different types of shapefile. So for imported your shapefile in your code, you need to use a function. This function is the read file. Okay, so for using this function, I use here I take a variable. Suppose I gave this variable name is dataset. I gave this variable name is dataset, and then I call my GeoPandas library. So in this case you can see here I already make a small name GPD. So I simply use this GPD, then dot, and I call my function. This function is read file. Okay, I simply use this function, and then I call my shapefile. So here you can see this is my folder, and this folder has the lot of shapefile will be available. So now I call the path of this shapefile. Okay, so for this I use here the R sign, and then I simply call, when I simply, you can see this here the lot of shapefile, I simply copy this path. Okay, you can see this is my path of my shapefile folder. I simply copy this shapefile folder path and paste here, and then I use here a specific shapefile name. Here you can see there are different types of shapefile name. Here I use this district shapefile. So here you can see this is the district.hsp file. You can simply use here the backslash, and then you can use the name your district.hsp. So I use here the district.shsp. Okay, so I call my shapefile in this code. Here you can see I take a variable, and after this variable I call my GeoPandas library, and then I use this read file function, and in this between this parenthesis I use here the my shapefile path. Okay, so now when I click to run, you can see it will be executed and you cannot get any error. Okay, this means this your code is right. Okay, so now if you want to check your GeoPandas shapefile, or you can check this shapefile property or data type, you can simply search here. You can simply search here dataset. When I search, I can simply write this dataset variable name. This is my variable name, and run this. You can simply press the enter, then your console code will be run. Okay, so now you can see here all of this row. You can see in this dataset there are the 2 row. First 2 column. You can see there is the 2 column. First column name is name 2, and under this name 2 you can find there are the different types of district name, and you can also see the another column. This is the geometry. Okay, basically this geometry column is very important because it will be show your result in the map plot lib. Okay, so now you can see here, and if you want to check what's the type of your shape file, so you can simply search here the type, then you can simply put here the dataset variable name and press to enter. So now you can see it is the GeoPandas geodata frame. Okay, it is the GeoPandas and geodata frame. So now you can see here I already imported our shapefile, history shapefile in our code editor, and we also check here the dataset, our shapefile. You can see here there is the 2 column name 2 and geometry. Here you can get all of this information name 2. You can see there the different types of district name, and if you want to check the more information about your dataset, you can simply click to the variable explorer. Okay, I simply click to here. You can see here the dataset. Okay, this dataset, when you click to double click this dataset, you can get the all of this information. You can get this the geodata frame, all of this information. Here you can see this is the your attribute table. You can see here this the name 2 column. Under this name 2 column, here you can find the different types of district name, and also see the geometry. You can see there are the geometry location. Okay, so now if you want, you can also see here the data frame. It will be 64 row and 2 column. You can see here this size also appeared in here. Okay, so now I want to show this shapefile in my Jupyter Spider notebook. Okay, I make a plot of this shapefile. So for this I simply use here the another code. Suppose I simply use here, I call my variable dataset. And then I simply use here the plot function. Okay, and when I click to run, you can get a plot of your map. You can see it will be generating, and you can make a message figures now render in the plots pane of default. So here you can see the plots tab. When you click to the plots tab, you can get this figure of your shapefile. Okay, actually it will be appeared. So if you want, you can use here the different types of style. If you want, you can easily change there the color and everything you can change. So now you can see here, if you want, you can change this color of your shapefile. You can see here this is the blue. Okay, so now if you want to change, you can simply add here the some option. Suppose in this case I use here to change the color. So for this I use here the color, and then I define this color will be, I gave this color is the red. Okay, and when I click to run, you can see this result will be appeared, it's red. So if you want, you can increase the size of the every district boundary border. Okay, you can increase the size of the boundary border. So that's why you need to use here the edge size, edge color. If you want to, you can say change the edge color, so then it will be appeared very well. So I use here the edge S, then use here the S color, then I simply use the S color will be, I gave this S color will be green. Okay, and when I click run, you can get this result. So when I click run, you can see you need to use here the comma sign. Okay, and when I click run, you can get this S color will be green. If you want, you can change the S color, you can use here the black, and when you click run, you can see it will be black, turn into the black color. So now you can see here, this is our shapefile. We will display this shapefile in our using the GeoPandas library. Okay, so now if you want, you can also, now if you want, you can change this color. If you want, you can make the every district color. Okay, you want to make the every district different color. You want to make a map so that the map will be show the result for your 64 district will be 64 different color. Okay, so then you need to use the another function. Suppose here you can see, here you can see this data set. I will use here the data set. I will use here the data set. This is my variable, and then I use here the plot function, and under this plot function I need to use here the another keyword. This is the function, this is the CMap, it for the color map, and I use the CMap, and I simply use here the SSV. Okay, and next time I will explain what's the SSV, and then I will use here the same S. I also gave this the S color, so I use here the S color will be, I gave this S color will be black, and I also define here the column name. Okay, actually in this case I want to make a this column, which column you can see, I will simply use here the district dataset. This is my variable name again, and click to the enter. You can see this column name is name 2, and under this name 2 column you can see the different types of district name. Okay, so now I want to make a map so that the map will be show this result, show the different color for the every different district. Okay, so for this you need to use here the CMap. This is the function, color map, it, and is the SSV. This is the another function, and after this I will explain what is the SSV. And its color, I will define the area of boundary of every district boundary, its color, and then you need to select your column name, which column you want to use here. So I simply use here the column, my column name, you can see my column name is the name 2. I simply use here the column name 2, name 2. Okay, so now you can see here I want to change this color according to the different district. So when I click to run, you can get a result. So I simply click to run, you can get the result. You can see it will be appeared, and you can see the district will be colorful. For different district will be different color, it will be appeared. Okay, and you can also see here that this is the latitude and longitude will be X and Y level, you can also find here. Okay, so now I explain this code here. So in this case, first of all, I use here the call my dataset, because the dataset will be stored my shapefile. Okay, and then I use here the plot. This plot is for the matplotlib. It is the default libraries with GeoPandas, and then I call here the CMap. It is the function, it is the color map. Okay, I use here the CMap, and then you can see here I use here the SSV. Okay, SSV, it is the color code. So when I simply go to this link, you can see here this is the link matplotlib.org. This is the link. When you can go to this, you can find different types of color code. Okay, so here I use this the SSV. If you want, you can if you want, you can also use this different types of color code. Suppose if you want, you can use this color code suppose train, you can, if you want, you can use this color code train, or xist earth, or ocean. Okay, here you can find the different types of color code. So simply you can find your own specific color, what you need or what you like. Then you can simply copy this color code name and paste in this code. Okay, SSV. And then its color, because I want to show this boundary, every district boundary line will be black, so that I use here the S color is black. And then column, what's the column I will want to show this color. So you can see here the name, this is my column name, and under this column here the 64 district. I want to 64 district will be different color, so for this here I select my column name is name 2. Okay, so I hope you understand this code, how you can easily make import and how you can easily display this result as a plot in your shapefile. Okay, so then I also use, suppose if you have another shapefile. So here you can see this is my files. Here the total different types of shapefile. In this case you can find here the different types of shapefile. So if you want, you can show the another shapefile. So you can simply use here the another variable. Suppose in this case I use the variable name is, I can get this variable name is BD area. Okay, I can get the shapefile name, and then I call my GeoPandas library GPD, and then I use here the read file, because this function is access my shapefile, read file, and then I simply copy this is my path, shapefile path. When I click to here, you can see this is my shapefile path. I simply copy this shapefile path, and I simply use here the R sign, then I define this path, and then I use here the backslash, and then I define my shapefile. Suppose in this case I want to show this result for this BGDM, this shapefile. So I simply, when I click to right click and click to the rename, and simply copy this name and cross here, and then simply paste here. Okay, so now you can see this shapefile will be added with my BD area variable name. Okay, so now if you want, you can use the same code, and you can easily use the same code and easily do everything. Suppose in this course I use here the BD area, BD dot area, this is my shapefile BD area. I simply copy this shapefile and paste here, and then I use here the plot, and I use here the plot. When I click to run, you can get this result. Okay, I click to run, and then you can go to simply the plots tab. You can get, this is our Bangladesh boundary area. You can find this map. If you want, you can add here the some specific boundary color or specific map color. You can easily do that. Suppose in this case I will be use here the S color will be black, so I use here the S color, and I simply use here the black, and you can use here the equal sign. So when I click to run, you can see this S color, so it will be S color. So when I click run, you can see this boundary color will be black. Okay, so now if you want to plot these two figure by side, okay, so suppose you can see here there is the two map. This is the for district, and this is the for your boundary. So now if you want, you can show this result by side. Okay, suppose you want to make this result two map in a one frame or one page, so you can easily do it. And when you do this thing, you need to use the matplotlib.pyplot library. You can call this library and make a different two variable name. Then you need to use here the subplots, and then you simply call how many map you want to show using the plots. You define this, and then it will be simply show this result. Okay, so for this I simply call the matplotlib.pyplot. Okay, so I simply import this data set here, I import this library. This library is that matplotlib.py plot, and I gave this library name is plt. Okay, so when I use the next time using this use this function, I simply use here the plt, then it will be work. So you can see here I imported the matplotlib.py plot as plt, because now I want to make a I make a plot, the figure side by side. Okay, I make the two map using a one frame. Okay, so I call this matplotlib as a plt. So then I use here the figure, so I make the figure, and then I define here the two variable. Suppose this variable, I gave this variable name is x1, and I also gave this another variable name is x2. Okay, I gave this variable name, and after giving this variable name, I simply use here the plt. I called the matplotlib.py plot function at libraries. I call these libraries, and after calling these libraries, I simply use here the plt. I call this, then I use here the function of subplot. You can see this is the subplot. Okay, subplot, and then you define, you can also see the description of this subplot function. So in this case, I want to make a frame, so that the frame will side by side of the two map. Okay, so in this case I use here the n calls, it means n columns. So I define this n calls, and then define how many map I want to show side by side. I want to show that there is the two map. First map is the data set, and second map is the BD area. Okay, I simply show this two map, so I simply use the number of 2, and then you can see here I use here the call my data set. You can see this is my dataset.plt. I simply call this dataset. Okay, and paste here, and after calling this dataset, I simply use here the ax function. Then I use here the ax equal x1. I define this x1 because here I already used the x1, and then x1. Okay, and I also use here the call my another bd area dot plot. I simply copy here bd dot plot and paste here, and I defined here the ax equal x2. So you can see here I already done all of these things. So when I click to run, you can get these two map will be together. You can see it will be one frame. You can get this result, one column and two column. So in this case I use the n calls. Okay, n calls equal 2, and then I defined here my x1 and x2. I gave this variable name, and then I defined the dataset.plot function, call this library, and use here this variable name. So now it will be appeared. So now if you want to add the some other function, so in this case you can see here I already add the different types of function. I simply copy this. Okay, I simply copy and paste here, and simply use the comma sign. In this I simply use the comma sign and simply paste here. So now you can see here, and I also use here the map color. I also change the BD area map color. I can gap this color will be green. So when I click to run, you can get this result, I hope. So when you click to run, you can get this map. You can see this is, you can get the two map of your here, and you can use this the other attribute. You can see here this is the 64 district different color, and you can also use the boundary color will be green. Okay, and these two map will be added a one frame or one page. So now if you want, you can easily increase the figure size of your map. So in this case, I want to increase the figure size. For this, I use here the another function in here, fig size. I use here the fig size, and then I defined here the width and height. So I use the 10 and 8. So I defined here the fig size. It is the figure size of your map, and when I click run, you can see this size will be increased. You can see it will be increased, and its resolution will be more better. Okay, so now you can see here, this is our introductory part, and in this part I will try to show you how you can easily import your history shapefile using the GeoPandas libraries, and after importing this shapefile, how you can easily plot this shapefile this like this. Okay, so in the next tutorial we also show others advanced tutorial as well as other GeoPandas, how you can easily use the GeoPandas and make the different types of handling the different types of geospatial data. Okay, so next tutorial we also try to show all of those things. Okay, so if you like this video, just comment, and if you have any question, then you can also comment in the comment description so that I can easily answer all of these things. So next tutorial we also discuss about some advanced tutorial about the GeoPandas, how you can easily using this GeoPandas and handle the different types of geospatial data set. Okay, so today is no more, so thank you for watching this video.